In the midst of growing anticipation surrounding global currency shifts, recent disruptions in U.S. banking platforms have raised more than just technical concerns. Welcome back to Iraqi Dinar News, where we explore unfolding developments related to the IQD, VND, and ZWL. Over the past few days, an unusual pattern of service outages has emerged across multiple U.S. financial institutions. Although officially attributed to routine maintenance, the synchronized nature of these disturbances has sparked speculation among foreign currency watchers. Particularly for those holding Iraqi dinar, Vietnamese dong, or Zimbabwean dollars, this timing feels far from accidental. Beneath the surface of these so-called updates lies a broader mystery, one that may signal the early stages of a silent but massive financial recalibration. Investors monitoring currency conversions, wire transfers, and online banking portals have noticed key features missing or altered, such as disappearing exchange tabs and vanishing currency listings. While banks maintain that the outages are part of planned updates, the widespread loss of access to Forex functions, especially those involving IQD, VND, and ZWL, has drawn heightened scrutiny. These aren't just glitches. Many believe the back-end systems are being overhauled to support a major monetary shift. Some suspect that we are already seeing the quiet implementation of compliance upgrades, rate recalibrations, and settlement layers, common steps in any systemic financial reset. For those deeply entrenched in revaluation discussions, this situation feels eerily familiar. History offers precedent. Prior to Kuwait's revaluation following the Gulf War, banking systems went dark. Zimbabwe's transitions to a new monetary structure saw similar shutdowns, tightly controlled to minimize market volatility. The goal then, as now, was to quietly reinforce security, stabilize systems, and minimize risk before a public rollout. Given the scope of the current disruptions and their striking alignment across institutions, many believe these aren't isolated events. They're deliberate moves in a broader orchestration. Financial experts have taken note. Veteran Forex analyst Stephen Langley recently commented that these disruptions coinciding with quarterly financial closeouts are no coincidence. According to insider reports, banks are conducting quiet liquidity tests, running internal simulations, and locking in test rates, all behind closed doors. Confidential memos are reportedly limiting the communication of rate changes and tightening foreign exchange desk updates. Langley and others believe these steps mark a clear alignment with the kind of groundwork necessary for a currency reset. At the epicenter of this activity is the Iraqi dinar, long considered a catalyst in the potential rebalancing of the global monetary framework. The Central Bank of Iraq has quietly rolled out a number of strategic reforms under IMF guidance, focusing on digitizing payments and improving fiscal transparency. Among these moves is the deployment of blockchain-based smart contracts to monitor government expenditures, a major step toward international compatibility. Additionally, the CBI has reduced its media engagement, which many view as a sign that sensitive changes are happening internally under strict confidentiality. Adding fuel to the fire are reports still unconfirmed but widely discussed of exchange rate testing that places the dinar in the range of $3.50 to 790 IQD per USD. On U.S. soil, rumors indicate that redemption centers have entered a heightened state of readiness. Whether this is coordinated preparation or speculative noise remains to be confirmed, but the overlapping timing of Iraq's internal reforms and global banking anomalies is hard to dismiss. While the dinar commands the spotlight, the Vietnamese dong is beginning to rise in prominence within the currency revaluation conversation. Vietnam's central bank has been gradually modernizing its financial ecosystem, engaging with BRICS and Asian economic blocs in a way that suggests quiet but deliberate strategic positioning. Reports have surfaced that new trade contracts are being signed at adjusted exchange rates, indicating internal preparation for a shift. Projections suggest that if the dong is revalued, it could fall within a range of $3.85 to 510 VND per USD, depending on the structure. This increasing synchronization of banking disruptions with quiet fiscal reforms in key countries suggests a broader plan is unfolding, one that extends far beyond software updates. Stay with us for Part 2, where we'll continue by exploring Zimbabwe's surprising resurgence, confidential bank actions within U.S. institutions, and what the coming weeks might hold for all three currencies. In the broader picture of global currency recalibration, Zimbabwe is becoming an unlikely but serious contender, once dismissed due to its history of hyperinflation. The Zimbabwean dollar is gaining attention as the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe moves toward a gold-backed monetary model. Unlike past attempts, this new strategy appears more grounded, with verifiable reserves of gold, lithium, and platinum. What sets this effort apart is direct collaboration with IMF advisors, who are actively involved in helping restructure Zimbabwe's fiscal policies and banking protocols. This added credibility is causing analysts to reevaluate Zimbabwe's position in the reset narrative. If successful, older high-denomination ZWL notes could become redeemable under structured agreements, positioning Zimbabwe as a key participant in the unfolding global financial transition. Behind closed doors, more evidence is surfacing to support the theory that banking systems are quietly preparing for something much larger. Internal sources from institutions such as Chase, Bank of America, and Wells Fargo are reporting unusual security measures and access restrictions. Staff at several branches have received vague instructions about enhanced compliance procedures specifically related to IQD and VND transactions. Some systems are now showing hidden rate staging, an obscure feature only activated when currencies are being embedded into back-end structures at new values. These processes require tight interbank coordination and often occur in silence, away from public view. Meanwhile, redemption centers across the U.S., many located in private sections of large banks or secure off-site facilities, have reportedly shifted from testing phases to full operational readiness. According to anonymous sources, staff are under non-disclosure agreements and undergoing specialized training for handling appointment-based currency exchanges. Security has been increased and offline rate sheets have surfaced with alleged tiered contract rates, such as $6.90 for the IQD and $4.25 for the VND. While not officially confirmed, the consistency of these reports suggests these numbers are already circulating within private banking systems, awaiting activation once compliance protocols are finalized. What makes this timing so critical is that multiple global variables are now aligned in a rare convergence. Iraq's political leadership under Prime Minister Soudani is currently stable, and recent reforms are gaining the trust of international observers. Vietnam is integrating more deeply into global trade systems, leveraging BRICS ties to reinforce its financial influence. The U.S. is seeing reduced inflation, and monetary policy from the Federal Reserve is now more conducive to liquidity shifts. With market volatility on the decline, the environment is primed for a transformative shift, one that could reconfigure how value flows across borders. As this synchronized preparation unfolds, investors should remain grounded. Not every banking pause signals a revaluation, but repeated disruptions with similar symptoms across institutions and nations are hard to explain away. Silence can be more telling than announcements. Currency holders should monitor updates from the Central Bank of Iraq, the State Bank of Vietnam, and the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe, as well as keep tabs on guidance from global financial institutions like the IMF. Physical currency security also becomes essential in this moment. It is critical that holders of IQD, VND, or ZWL keep their notes stored safely, along with receipts or documentation proving legal ownership. Redemption events, if and when they happen, may require such evidence. A well-prepared plan should also include identifying which financial institutions to use, understanding potential tax implications, and securing any necessary legal paperwork. Another layer of this process that remains misunderstood by the general public is the role of NDAs and structured tier rates. In the event of an actual currency revaluation, certain exchange participants, particularly those involved in humanitarian projects or large transactions, may be offered contract rates under strict confidentiality agreements. These NDAs are critical tools used to prevent chaos in the broader market. Not everyone will receive the same rates. Factors like volume, note series, and the legitimacy of one's financial documents could determine access to elevated tiers. Banks are reportedly mapping these tiers and assigning customer categories in preparation. These structures require absolute secrecy and coordination, which may explain the current system's slowdowns. Should this event come to pass, as many expect, the aftermath could change the financial landscape. A newly valued Iraqi dinar would allow Iraq to attract long-term investment, reduce its dependency on foreign reserves, and reassert economic independence. Vietnam, with a strengthened dong, could expand its influence across Asia in technology and trade. Zimbabwe, backed by natural resources and transparent systems, may offer a model for other developing nations seeking to exit currency instability. But windfalls also invite oversight. U.S. citizens involved in any significant currency redemption will likely face tighter financial scrutiny. The IRS may enforce new requirements for tax disclosures, capital gains reporting, and cross-border transfers. Investors aiming to protect their gains are already forming legal structures, trusts, and reinvestment plans. The revaluation may deliver wealth, but preserving it will take serious foresight. In the end, banking institutions rarely act without coordination. When major financial entities begin to limit rate visibility, suspend foreign transfers, and implement synchronized back-end changes across continents, it's rarely by chance. The signs we're seeing, rate staging tools, secure redemption protocols, and confidential staff training, all point toward a systemic realignment. If the revaluation event does unfold, it won't be declared through headlines. It will begin with quiet logins that fail, accounts that refresh, and balances that change silently overnight. The moment may come and go without public fanfare, but for those who are prepared, it will be unmistakable. Stay alert, stay informed, and most of all, stay ready.